What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 21 of the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast. On this episode, we are talking Division 3, Bladerunner 2033 Labyrinth, Sea of Thieves, and Granblue Fantasy Relink.
Revis take me shopping when I'm up in New York. Hit the shoe store, go and cop a few more. Y'all at the mall, eating dinner at the food court. I'm in LA, eating 22 courses.
Mac Miller, Nike's on my feet. Is that what it is?
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
You are now tuned in to the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast.
I love it when you talk nerdy to me.
I quit. He did it. He did it. Yeah. We're walking off. Let's go.
That has it right? It's like, is it like Air Nikes on my feet or
Nike,
is it Nikes on my feet or Air Nikes on my feet?
Nike's on my feet. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
I love me some Mac Miller.
Today's a good day.
Back in the day.
Today's a good day. Today's a good day. We nailed it, guys. You finally got one. Let's go. I threw I think I might have broke my headphones. Hold on.
Oh no!
I was so excited. No,
So excited
they're
that
fine.
Adam finally nailed it.
Nailed
too.
it.
Like, no hesitation on that
Nailed
one.
it. Nailed it. What is up, man? How is the week?
Not much, man. Week has been good. Been playing some Mortal Kombat. It's been great.
And
it's been great.
very quickly,
I love it, man. I think it's so fun. I love the. Again, I'm not very good at the fighting games, but they're always so fun. The story was actually pretty intriguing, and I beat that already. I beat that in one sitting.
and does Raiden get his powers back?
Should I don't want to ruin it for anybody, Zags, or if you want to say, you Googled it.
Blink twice if Raiden gets his powers back, Adam.
Kind of. He gets him back. I'm not going to ruin any plot points of the movie or the game because there's a lot to it than just that. But he does, in fact, somehow get his powers back.
Let's go. That's what I hope. That's what I hoped happened. But I'm glad you're enjoying the game. I thought the storyline would be kind of cool. And if you guys haven't checked it out yet, Adam did an awesome video loading up every single Mortal Kombat fatality. If you want to check out that video, please check out that video. It is a very, very, very cool. And
it is gruesome.
Yes,
and just completely Mortal Kombat-ish.
If you are not 18, you need to use discretion to get into this video. Apparently,
yeah. YouTube told us, sorry, that's not for everybody. They put an age restriction on it. So if you're not signed into YouTube, you can't watch it. But we also have a guide on how to do each of those fatalities in that video. But we'll also leave a link down below, might as well, just so you guys can check that out if you want to learn how to do some of the secret fatalities. It does not include, the video does not include the cameo fatalities. So there's much more on top of that. It's just I hadn't unlocked all the cameo characters yet, so I didn't want to say and cameo characters. So I'm still working on those, but yeah, keep an eye out, or not keep an eye out. Go check it out. It's linked down below. They're gruesome. They're awesome though.
They are gruesome. Yeah. My number one thing was Adam loaded the video up and he's like, "Hey, the video's up if you want to check it out." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then I texted him immediately and I'm like, "Why did you age restrict it?" And he's like, "Dude, I didn't do that. YouTube did it." And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be brutal."
Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of that. I've been playing a lot of the Crew Motorfest still because I am enjoying the crap out of that. I'm getting better with the wheel actually. I kind of got some drifting going down. I said I was struggling with that, but it's getting better.
I was gonna say, how are you doing on the drifting?
I'm enjoying it. I'm getting so much better.
Nice.
I just wish I had more time. That's the thing with when there's all these good games coming out and I'm interested in all of them, it's hard to be like, oh, I'm going to sit down and play 6 hours of this game. But wait a minute, I still have this game I want to play and I want to get better at.
Yep.
And then you have a 3-year-old who's like, Dada.
Yep.
It's like, shoot, what can I do? And then I had to work today. So it's just a whole mess of trying to play video games. And then with two of the games that we're going to talk about today, like Division 3 and Sea of Thieves, I'm like, man, I got to get back into those two now. And I just can't do it because I don't have enough time.
I literally have a stack of 14 games that I want to play. I'm so far behind on games.
Yeah, and you played the single player game, so like once you finish those stories, you're like, okay, I can move on.
Yeah.
For me, like it's all the multiplayer games, so it's like, oh, you got to keep grinding, keep leveling up, and it's like, well, shoot, like I just don't have time to do that,
Yeah.
and it sucks because I'm gonna continue to get better at Mortal Kombat. I think as much as I want to keep playing Motorfest, I've kind of hit a stalemate, I guess, on that because Sea of Thieves is getting an update, more games are coming out, and so
When these games get
which
updates, do you feel like you got to go back early before the update
oh
happens and like revamp your
one
skills?
I would say with Sea of Thieves that here are you cool with we're gonna jump into Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
Is that cool with
Yeah,
you?
let's
Make that our first
yeah, we'll
topic?
jump into Sea of Thieves.
Okay, so
Okay,
I
but real
I
quick, because
love Sea. Oh,
real
yeah, sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
real quick, because you didn't ask me about my week, which is kind of rude, but I'm gonna
Oh,
let it
sorry.
slide.
Well, I'm mature. I'm mature. How was your week,
My week
Dave?
was pretty good, and I want to just do
Yeah.
a tiny bit of show and tell, because I think the fans might actually like this. So, in my true nerdy fashion, I am not a big collector of this genre. But if you guys do not know, Pokemon actually came out with a new set of cards called their Violet 151
Ooh.
set. And for some reason, I was just very interested in this set because it's a revamp of all the original 151 cards from the original series. So I just really it intrigued me, and I wanted to grab a little bit of it. And I got my first set of boxes, and I'm very, very excited to say that we got a pretty decent pull. So if you guys want to check it out, from that set, we actually ended up pulling the holographic Charizard
Whoa.
EX.
Dang, you should have done like a. You know what you should have done? That's awesome. You know what you should have done though? You should have done a like a live stream of like cut or open
Oh, cut or
situations. Have you
open?
seen those?
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
those.
cut or open.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
goodness.
Do you ever see that one video of that dude where he's like, I think I've actually used the sound clip for a while, but his like audience would pay him $50 to destroy the cards before he opened it, and somebody paid him
Yeah.
$50, and like when he opened it, he had one of the most rarest Pokemon cards ever created. It was like some
Oh my
super rare
gosh.
Pikachu, and he had an absolute meltdown. He was like on the ground crying and like screaming at his chat, like, "Why would you
Uh,
do this to me?" It was like
that's so funny.
so
That's
funny.
so
But yeah, I just
brutal.
wanted to show the card. It's actually pretty cool. So it's a
Yeah.
holographic Charizard EX. But yeah, I'm super juiced on
Shiny.
it. Very shiny, very cool. I really like the like I don't know. It's hard to describe the art style on it, but yeah, super cool. Super cool.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome,
like
man.
that.
Happy for you.
Thanks,
Happy
man.
for you.
Thank
One
you.
day it'll be worth $4 million and you can sell it to Post Malone.
Yeah, or Jake Paul, and I can just make it into a chain or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. That
Okay.
sounds good.
All right. But
But
anyway, Sea of Thieves. Let's
back to
go.
Sea of Thieves. I know this wasn't our first topic on the list, but since this kind of came up with what we were talking about, so Sea of Thieves is a game. If for those that don't know, is essentially you're a pirate and you face against the world of pirates. And for the longest time, you could not play by yourself. You had to play with other people, which is why it pushed me away. So kind of going off of what you were saying, when it's a big update, does that bring you back into a game? Typically with Sea of Thieves, no. But with this one, yes, it's going to bring me back into the game. And I'm probably going to play a bunch more than I had been in the past. And the sole reason behind that is they're adding us safe seas, which is where it's PvE rather than PvP. Or it's so Sea of Thieves is PvE and PvP combined.
Yep.
But now they're adding a safe seas, which is just PvE.
Okay, let's rewind for a hot second here.
Yeah.
Let's I'm not sure if everybody knows exactly what Sea of Thieves is. So like
Yeah.
what exactly is Sea of Thieves? Like what exactly are you doing in this game?
Yeah, in Sea of Thieves, essentially, you are a pirate, and there's 3 different ship. That's a hard word to kind of combine.
Ship sizes.
Ship sizes. So you can. There's this. Wow, I haven't played in so long. The sloop. I can't remember the middle one, and then the galleon's the big one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
either have nobody to play with or 3 other people to play with. So I always played on the galleon or the sloop. But essentially, so you have different like tasks to do to complete and like find buried treasure, take on world events, take on other players to steal their loot. So you get the loot and you sell it to the right merchants. And that's essentially like what the game is like you're this open world sandbox of pirate ships with great mechanics in terms of like waves and things like that. It's pretty like the waves are really realistic to the point where like some people can't watch, including Dave, because he gets seasick. But overall, that like essentially you're just a pirate doing pirate things in the game.
The wave mechanics are very realistic. I've seen Adam play
Yeah.
this game multiple times, and I'm not going to lie, there has been a few times where I just had to stop watching you because I was
Yeah.
getting seasick
Yeah.
watching it. Um, okay, so would you describe it as like an exploration game, or is it more of like a like building game where you're trying to like, you upgrade you're doing the stuff to like upgrade your ship or like upgrade like your stronghold or something? Like what's the goal of the game? Because this is
So really,
confusing to me because it's like
yeah.
it's one of those games that doesn't have a story mode, and when I don't have a story mode, I get very lost on like what the end goal is, and that was one of the questions that I had with Sea of Thieves.
So there's a lot of lore into Sea of Thieves. Like there's different like mission sets that you can do to kind of like get some lore behind it and story based that way. And they have like different seasons. They have different like events and stories and things like that. In terms of like leveling up, is there's different categories of different merchants that you can sell stuff to, and that's what you level up. In terms of like getting your ship better or your person better, it's just all cosmetic.
It's all cosmetic. It has nothing to do.
All cosmetic. Like you can't improve your ship, and like so the final goal that you want to try to reach is called Pirate Legend, and that's where you level up so far where they give you the title Pirate Legend after you complete a whole bunch of different things, and like that's like was the end goal. There's much more to it now that people try to do, including with this update, this season 10 update, which is going to be October 19th, I believe. So actually, I probably won't play this because it's right before Spider-Man. But anyway, so I'm excited for this. There's a lot of things going to be added to it. So kind of starting from the top with the season updates, so you have your different levels that you can get. They're adding a different level called Guild. So it's kind of like a clan for like other games, and you can have up to 24 different pirates in your guild, and you can sail with the guildmates ships even when they're offline. So you can pick their ship like, hey, I want to use your ship when you're offline. So that's pretty cool. And then with this guild, your guild will earn reputation. So kind of like the other ones, like you just level up, you'll get rewards for hitting so much of a reputation. You'll be able to customize the crest, the marks, mottos, and name of your guild. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, so that's like one of the big updates.
Okay, I have questions.
Yeah.
Okay, question number one. The guild thing. That's pretty cool. So it's 24 real people, right?
Yeah, but it's not gonna be all online at once. I don't remember the exact size. I think it's 12 ships in a map. So
Okay, and then with the guilds, you're saying that you can use other people's equipment.
like their ship when they're offline.
Is this a thing though where like if you use my ship and I'm offline and you like destroy it, do I lose my ship? Because I will be so mad at you.
So another thing about the ship is like you get sunk, you're spawn with the same ship, just without the rewards.
Oh, you just spawn with your same ship.
Yeah, and without the
okay.
rewards, like you don't have the treasure or anything that you collected while you were like had the ship. So really, you're not losing anything if you have a bunch of loot and stuff, then you're losing things. But in terms of like your actual ship, nothing's damaged.
And why are you excited that this is not like a PvP situation? Like does it just get annoying when people are attacking you?
So okay, well, let's step to the next part because that's what I want to talk about the most is the
Okay.
PVE part.
Okay.
So the next thing they're adding for the world events is called the Skull of Siren Song. So this is gonna be a PvP competitive like natured world event, and essentially like you have to find this Skull of Siren, and you're facing off. So you face off against other pirate crews to find an ancient artifact, and your goal is to retrieve and deliver to gain the rewards. It's going to appear at random intervals, so like the quest will like appear on your ship's mast, and you can like either accept it or deny it or whatever. and you'll get 2 maps. One is you have to go locate the key, and the other is you have to go locate the crest, and you have to combine the two to like open the chest and get the artifact.
Mm.
And once you get either the chest or the key, you'll be marked on the map as like a player that has these, and so other people can come try to attack you and take it from you. And so I think that's kind of cool, but that's the PvP side. And yeah, so that's the cool like story of this season, I guess, essentially.
I mean, that sounds pretty cool. I mean, anytime you make me a pirate and allow me to go on a treasure hunt, that I'm excited for that. So
Yeah. So now the last update is the Safer Seas, and there is a lot of, I don't want to say controversy behind this, but a lot of why are they doing it? Because okay, so Rare has always said, like the developer of the game, they are never going to add a PvE server like option, and they're doing that now. And
I mean, never say never.
right. And I think there's a big reason for it. And so let me kind of go over this real quick. So it's a private game session that you'll be able to play with your friends, play with alone or with your friends. So you can't be attacked by other players, obviously. Your rewards will be diminished compared to normal, like 70% less than what you'd get in a PvP. So
Oh, dang.
yeah, so significant amount. And I think with this is, and you can, oh, and then with you can't get Pirate Legend or anything like that. You have to, if you want to be a Pirate Legend, you have to go in PvP. And I think the big thing with this right now is I think their problem is they're struggling to bring in new players. Because when they bring in these new players, like they'll hop into a server that, let's say there's like 5 Pirate Legends, and all they want to do is just attack ships and stuff like that. And I'm like I was a little beginner on my little sloop and getting chased by a giant galleon, and like it's just you're no match for somebody like that. And so, and a lot of experienced players, like for them to have fun nowadays, is they just go spawn camp and kill new players rather than like doing missions and things like that. And I think there's just such a big skill gap from new players. And when a new player comes in, they're like, this is stupid. I keep getting like spawn camped and killed every like 2 minutes. I don't want to play this game anymore. So I think that's where they're going with this, is like not so much I think it's a start for new players or kids that just want to play a pirate game or things that just want to be chill, not so much always getting killed, if that makes sense.
I just remember so many clips of you like just running around this ship with your
For my
head
life.
like with a chicken with your head cut off. Just your Adam's like running up to the cannon, and he's like shooting cannons, and then he's running his little character down into the bottom of the ship and bailing water. And I'm just like, this is so chaotic, dude.
Yeah, and then you were there. So there was when I was not that good. Like I wasn't the worst player probably ever to play Sea of Thieves, but there was a point where I was playing, and it was like a duo sloop. Like they did really well together, but they just kept hitting me and like bombarding me. So you know what I finally did is I like jumped off my ship, I pulled their anchor, let them kill me, and I spawned back on my ship. They chased me for an hour. And like, yeah, I could have fought him, but I would have lost. Like I had a good amount of loot and stuff like that, and I was not capable of like fending for myself against this sloop who was like destroying me.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing that like turns new players off, and like for a player base to grow and for this to continue to upgrade and update, like you need the player base to grow too, and not stagnate or decline in their player base.
I think if they really want to increase the player base, they need to do you think it's a possibility to patch in some type of like very short single player campaign?
I think they have like something that's very short, like to kind of teach you the ways, but
Yeah.
I don't think it gives you enough experience or exposure to like how online play actually is, and just like some of the tactics used to like, it doesn't teach you all like the minute details of how to like fend for yourself against a 4-player galleon when you're just a solo sloop. And I
Yeah.
think that, yeah, you're playing against, but some of the PvE stuff is not easy either. Like there's like Flameheart, I don't think it's in the game anymore, but he was a pirate, like a ghost pirate that would spawn like 15 ships after you. and you have to kill all those ships to like win that loot and stuff. So it's not easy PvE either. But when you get attacked by a PvP player and like you're still trying to fight this thing, it's so chaotic and new players get overwhelmed. And I think this is a good step for new players.
I think it's a good step. I think I don't know if it's going to extend the player base as much as they might hope though. And my reasoning behind that is like, I'm not a multiplayer person. I'm just
Yeah.
not. Like when I'm gaming, I just like want a game. I want to be in my own world. I'm a solo player. Like I want to be in my own experience. And I feel like there's a lot of players like that are very just I almost say like I'm an antisocial gamer. Like I kind of just want to be in my own world alone. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's a lot of players like that, and then there's a lot of players that are on the other side, the complete opposite side of the fence, where it's only multiplayer. They're only interested in playing multiplayer games, and I don't know if just making this a PvE only situation is going to be enough to pull like antisocial gamers like me into that world. Does that make sense?
I kind of disagree.
I
I
feel like
think
it's I feel like it's not enough. Like this isn't enough for me. That's why I asked
well,
about the single player campaign, because it's
I
like,
mean, like I said, there's a lot to play towards in Sea of Thieves, like all that stuff, like the leveling up, the cosmetics. But like I said, there is story to Sea of Thieves and different campaigns in terms of that seasonally. Like there's always like new like lore and stuff behind it.
but in a specifically single player session, like
Yeah.
how far can I get in this game as if I never want to play with anyone ever?
How far could you get in terms of
Yeah.
like how long could you play?
Yeah, like how many things are not available to me if I'm only playing with myself ever?
Oh, if you
Like,
play the PvE?
yeah, like you said, I can't be like a pirate legend, like that my loot's
That's like the
diminish.
only thing, but the pirate legend though, that's gonna take you like days of playing. Like it's not like you can get it in 20. Like it's gonna take a long time to get there. Like unless you're really grinding, even online, it's like it could take like a few weeks before you get it. Like and I don't have it.
I mean, I
There's
don't
always
know.
something to work towards in Sea of Thieves, I think, and just
Uh,
like
I don't know. I don't know if I just don't know if I'm feeling it. I know
well,
it's
you
gonna,
can't because you're on PlayStation, so don't worry about it.
wow, okay, low blow.
I'm just saying.
It's gonna bring new people in. I just don't know how many new people are gonna get brought
I think
in.
it's going to bring in old people too. Old people that have been tired because that love the game but are just tired of getting destroyed by people
Yeah.
and just want to have a good time because it's bringing me back. Because I've always said yes, like I don't all the cosmetic stuff is cool to me, but some days I just want to like chill out and like sail the seas and kill some pirate or like scully pirates and things like that and just like explore without getting murdered when I'm a little baby sloop by myself. And I think that's going to bring players like that back. But also, like, I think their idea behind it, I agree with you. And, like, I don't know how much of a player base they can bring back, but I think that it will bring some players back into the game to hopefully transition back to the player, like the PvP once they get more experience on their belt and like an understanding of the game's like flow a little bit better. So,
I mean, I think it is gonna bring people back.
mhm.
I just don't know how many again. And I think I may be biased when we're talking about titles like this, because like I said, I'm an antisocial gamer. If PvP off is an option, it's always off in my game.
Mhm.
There's nothing more annoying to me than when I'm trying to do something specifically and then just out of nowhere, like some random person just jumps in my game and it's like, oh great, now I have to fight this guy. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, get out of my game. Like just get out of
Get
here,
out
dude.
of
Like
here.
I want nothing to do with you, bro. Just get out of here. It's so annoying. So I,
And like so the one thing is like the some of the community of Sea of Thieves is super toxic. Like
yeah.
towards new players. Like and like for somebody that's new, like I was in the same boat. Is like I'd get frustrated and I'd start like they're like, oh, just get good, just get good. And it's like I can't get good because like I'm being murdered 10 times. And like the issue is it isn't being like my ship getting sunk. It's the players that would sit on your ship spawn camp you and not let your ship sink and just keep killing you as you spawn. And that's the issue. It's not so much the PvP for me, it's more so the toxic player that won't let you continue on. They like almost force you to quit the game and load back in, which is a huge hassle in its own.
Wait,
So
how do they
like,
do that?
what's that?
How do they do that?
To make you
What,
quit?
yeah, what is spawn camping? They don't kill
Like
you?
so okay, yeah. So the way it works is like if you have your ship, if you die, you spawn back on your ship.
Right.
And so the other players, they sit on your ship and wait for you to come back and like keep killing you over and over, but they don't let your ship sink. And so they're just like spawn camping
Oh
you.
my God, that's so annoying, dude.
See, that's the issue for new players. Like it's obviously it's not always the case, but there's a lot of times when I'm like playing and this happens. And then there's also an issue with cheaters and Sea of Thieves. So like,
See, like that's like
and that's
that's
why I
an
think this PvE is going to be a good thing for players that just want to sail the seas and fight scullies and stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. Like just actually enjoy the game.
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly. And there's nothing worse in Sea of Thieves when you've been playing for like hours and hours to get a decent amount of loot, and then all of a sudden you get bombarded by some super experienced player that just makes you look like a fool and you lose everything.
Yeah. I mean,
And don't
I'm
get me
glad.
wrong, I understand it's a pirate game, but sometimes it's like I don't care. Like,
No,
yeah,
sometimes you don't care. I mean, it's just like you're you want a game to have fun. People forget sometimes like gaming is just supposed to be fun. You know what I mean? And it's not
yeah,
fun. This is the number one reason why I don't play Call of Duty. Like it's not fun. Like I don't have
eh,
fun. I Yeah, but like you have to understand where I'm coming from. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's the get good situation, just like how you're like, how people are telling you to get good and Sea of Thieves, and it's like, dude,
yeah,
you can't like I can't get
yeah,
good because you keep destroying everything. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like every time I load into a COD lobby, I go 10 and 30, and the people are just like, get good. And it's like
yeah,
I'm trying, dude. Like I can't. You play this
yeah.
you play this like 14 hours a day, dude. Like I'm just a
Right.
casual guy. Like I can't get good at this.
Yeah, and that's how
Yeah.
I felt with Sea of Thieves. So hopefully I think this is a good update. A lot of people don't think so, just because they're like, oh, they're going back on their word and all this, all that. But I just think the game's so old now, and kind of when we'll talk about this in the Division. There's just such a skill gap between new players and like experienced players, and there's almost no catching up, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I
So
mean, at some point and that's why I've passed on certain titles. At some point you just feel like I'm way too far behind. Like
hmm
people have been playing these games for so long that like for me to just jump in and try to get good and get up to their skill set. I mean, they have like literal years of experience on me, and
Yep.
I'm just like I'm not even gonna bother. Like
Yep.
I don't even just I don't even have time to try. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why again I'm super excited about this because I just want to sail the seas, and um, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for this
The
update.
thing about PvP is it should, and I know everybody, as soon as I say this, everybody's gonna be like, it's all he talks about. It's all he talks about. But in Dark Souls, when you get PvP'd,
Sorry, that's not the button I wanted. I was gonna turn the voice mod to mock you a little bit, but that was good too.
okay, but in Dark Souls, when the PvP happens, a PvP player will get sucked into your world, and then once something happens, either you kill that player or the player kills you, the experience is over. That player is just jacked from your
hmm
world, and that's the end of it. It's a one-time encounter, and like there's no chance for them to just kind of sit there and just keep murdering you and like
Yeah,
doing shady stuff, and you're like I feel like PvP should always be like that. It should be optional. Number one, you should be able to turn it off, and if you do have it turned on, it should be an intermittent experience where somebody enters your game, some things happen, but there needs to be a trigger to get them away from you. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
There has to be a trigger. If this would work amazing if like say you ran into this player, say in Sea of Thieves you encounter a player, right?
yeah,
So that it could like trigger it as like some type of battle, the loser of that battle, say like you get killed in this battle, you should spawn in a different part of the map.
You
You know what I
do
mean?
if your ship is sunk. If your ship's not sunk, then you keep spawning on your ship.
No, you
And
should just everything. If you
no,
die, don't you
I
think?
no, because there is like you do have a chance to defend your ship and like save the loot, but it's like I said, those experienced players that's the issue. I was never like angry if like I'd get attacked and they're trying to sink my ship and steal the loot rather than kill me, stand on my ship, and just keep killing me. That's where it gets. I don't like, if that makes sense, and a lot of players don't like.
Yeah. I
Whatever,
rage.
Dave. I
I
think it's gonna
rage.
be fun. I'm excited. So
I rage too much. I'm glad you're getting it. I'll definitely check you out playing it for sure. And hopefully it does bring more people to the
yeah.
series because I do think it's a good game. Mechanics wise, it looked great. Visually, it looked great, and being a pirate is super awesome. Like I had a good
Yeah.
time watching you play it. Yeah. So hopefully these updates improve it just a bit.
And with that said, we have I almost said blind ranking, but we have a pirate draft of fictional pirates.
I'm so excited for this. Like, guys, I
Yeah.
love pirates. I don't know if you know
Arr,
this.
matey.
I'm letting the cat out of the bag. I'm a huge pirate nerd. I don't know what it is. I just love the idea of like sailing the seven seas, plundering for treasure. I don't know. It's so cool. Okay. All right. Let's
Wait, before we go, I have a question for you, Dave.
hit me.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
Bar.
No, it is the sea.
I don't know if everybody knows this, but I think we just wrapped two dad jokes into one, which I'm super excited about.
I
Yeah,
was
way to
hoping
go.
you'd say R because yeah.
Well done. Well done. All right, let's flip this coin. Wouldn't it be cool if I had like a pirate gold medallion for this? I'm the worst podcast host.
Yep. And
It's
I won
you again. Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
All
Okay.
right. Fictional pirate draft with the
Just
first
know-
overall pick.
Just know if you take my first pick, I'm quitting.
I think I know who. Maybe. I don't know. My first overall pick in the pirate draft is Jack Sparrow.
Let's go. Let's go. You did not take my pick.
Let's
Let's go. Let's go.
I don't know who you have above that, but that's crazy.
Okay. All right. Jack Sparrow's a great pick. Don't worry. Don't worry. He was easily number 2 on my list. But with my first overall pick, I am going to go with the one and only Captain Hook.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Let's
That's a
go.
good pick.
I love me some Captain Hook.
Although he always loses.
It's okay. It's all
It's
right.
okay. All right.
It's okay. Specifically, Dustin Hoffman's Hook, Captain Hook from Hook version.
Okay.
My favorite all time Captain Hook. Let's go.
That's a good one. That is a good one. He was on my list. Next, I have is Jim Hawkins from Treasure Island.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna roll right into my second one then, who is Long John Silver from Treasure Island.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
I love me some Long John Silver.
Nice.
Specifically, and this is gonna be kind of lame. Some people might think this is kind of lame. Some people are gonna be like, "Dave, that's a deep cut," and I love you for that. Specifically, the one and only Mr. Tim Curry from Muppets Treasure Island, the best rendition of Treasure Island ever made.
All right, my next one is Davy Jones
From Pirates?
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, the little squid face one.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh yeah, that guy's cool.
Yeah,
dude, that was back like when CGI wasn't like as kind of like commonplace as today, and I just remember seeing that, being like, wow, they really did a great job on his face.
Yeah, that's
cool pick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, number 3, I'm going deep to the well of pirates, and give me the one and only Mr. One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies.
He was on my list too. Dang it. Or like on my backup list. I like it. I like it.
I know he only appears in the movie as a skeleton, but the lore around him is just amazing. I love the Goonies. It's a great movie. Yeah, I'm taking One-Eyed Willie. Let's go.
All right. My fourth pick is the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. Okay. My number 5
Four.
pick. My number 4 pick. I'm gonna go into the Pirates of the Caribbean universe and snag one before you get them all. I'm gonna go with Captain Barbosa.
Mm,
I just think he's such a great character. He
yeah.
really he's such an amazing, like, I think he's a very underrated character in the series. I know he's not like the nicest guy, but I don't know. I always think he's funny, and there's his like sporadic and like anger movements it's
Hmm.
great. I love it.
Man, these are some good pirates.
Yeah, these are good pirates.
My fifth pick is Painty the Pirate from SpongeBob as well.
You got 2 pirates from SpongeBob.
Yeah. Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain.
That's incredible.
Oh, who lives in a pine? Okay, I'm done.
Well, now you got
SpongeBob
yeah.
SquarePants.
Thanks for the song that will be in my head the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with my last pick, I don't know if I can have this one. I'm gonna throw, but we might need to consult the judges on this one.
Mhm, mhm.
Can I have Han Solo? He's a space pirate.
I'm okay with it. I'll allow
You
it.
okay with it? You okay
Yeah,
with it?
I was
All
gonna
right.
put Yondu in there from Marvel, but I decided not to.
Okay, I'm gonna go Han Solo. Han Solo is a
Solo's
space
fair.
pirate.
Fair game.
And then as my backup, if in the comments people think that that's a cheater pick, I'm gonna take Mr. Edward Kenway from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I know Black Flag isn't the greatest game, but I still think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I'm
Yeah.
there with you. That was a good draft. That was some good
That
pirates.
that was a good draft. I'm actually not sure who won that one, guys. Let us know in the comments down
Yeah.
below who won that one. I'm actually not sure.
I don't know. We'll find out soon, won't we?
I'm gonna
All
say
right.
I'm gonna say just say me, guys. Just say me, guys.
Just say Dave. Just say
Just
Dave.
say me. I don't win very often. Just let me have this one, guys.
You won the monster draft because I didn't pick the right monsters. But whatever. We'll go forward from there. Moving on.
Okay, moving on.
Division 3 has been announced, Dave.
How excited are you?
Division 3. I am ecstatic. Ecstatic. There's no trailers. Oh, we haven't had a trailer for the first game either. No trailers yet, mostly because this game is literally still trying to pick the same team, like the new team to back it and kind of develop the game.
Yes.
Just want to talk about it just because it's one of my favorite franchises right now, and kind of I want to go into what we kind of talked about before. I love the Division 2, and I put so many hours into it, but I
did.
never reached the full capabilities of like the max level and anything like that because there was so much of a skill gap, a time gap, and so I just never reached that. And so I'm super excited with the Division 3 because I'm going to start from day one, and I will hope I'll probably get tired of it at some point, but I hope to put just as many hours, if not even more, into the Division 3 than I did Division 2. And I'm just super excited about it because this was just announced on Twitter on Massive Entertainment's like a game developer of Ubisoft.
Yep.
And a game producer. And there's a lot of good things coming with this as well. So Julian Garrity is the appointed executive producer for the Division brand in general.
Yep.
He was the creative director, or he is the creative director of Star Wars Outlaws. So I'm guessing when he finishes that is when he's going to really put all his time into Division 3 and other things like that.
Yeah,
And
he had a big hand in Division 1, right? And then
Division
kind of
2.
Division
Actually,
2.
I think in Division in general, he was the associate creative director of Division. So that's super cool.
Yeah, so they brought back somebody who really knows the series and kind of crafted it into what it was. So yeah, that's very cool. I always love when they do that.
Yeah, and then so he's piecing together the team of Division 3. And one thing that I thought was really cool, that is really a good sign for the Division in general, is Ubisoft is planning to make the Division like a core pillar of like their game. So kind of like Rainbow Six Siege and some of those like Assassin's Creed and like those kind of games. And I think that that's super cool to me because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Division, and for them to say that and come out and be like, "Yeah, Division is our focus," that IP, and you can kind of see that with the other projects they have, like Division Heartland. They have Division Resurgence, which is like the mobile version, but it's like a full game on it's Division on your phone. So,
Yeah. I was
And go
honestly,
ahead.
I was kind of waiting for them to make this move, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because we talk about it all the time. Ubisoft is not like Ubisoft. Number one is an amazing studio. They pumped out a bunch of amazing titles that I have loved playing throughout the years. The one thing that they can't ever seem to really nail down is like a really good shooting mechanic. And we
Mhm.
talked about it all the time. Division was kind of like, okay, like, wow, they finally figured it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was kind of waiting for Ubisoft to be like, okay, like this is our pillar focus shooting game,
Mhm.
and go all in on it. So I'm excited that they actually kind of like put their chips on the table and like, yeah, all right, we're going all in on this.
I think they have to be honest, just kind of where they are in terms of their other IPs and things like that. They're starting to dive into IPs that like aren't their creation, so like Outlaws and Avatar. So I think it's like, yes, we're gonna nail these. Hopefully, they nail these games. And like, and then we're going back to what we know best with our own IPs and like really deliver something that the fans want because um, this has been rumored for a very long time that, and some people are starting to be skeptical of whether or not we were going to get a Division 3, and because Division 2 had over like has 40 million accounts, like players that have played the game.
Oh wow.
And so to leave a player base, like I don't want to say empty-handed, but like lackluster updates and things like that, that's kind of where the fan base is starting to decline, or the player base, not fan base, because like you can be a fan if you don't play it anymore. So the player base is like declining. And so I think they're like, oh, we're gonna lose such a great franchise if we don't say something soon. And so I think that's why they announced it so early that it's coming, because if they didn't, I think they're just gonna see that player base continue to decline and not, you know what I mean? Like they're not gonna come back if that, you know what I mean? Where I'm trying to go
Oh
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no,
So
I understand completely. I think what you were kind of talking about is like, those players specifically, and a lot of them have said that before this announcement, they were literally just like left in the dust. Like
mhm.
there was like no word of like any updates, or like people were just assuming that like Division was dead. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
like to get this announcement, I honestly think they should have been doing it sooner. But
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's not to say
soon,
this
like,
game isn't
better
coming
late than
out.
never.
Right, right. And that's not to say this game isn't coming, or like that this game is gonna be here next year. Like I doubt that, especially because they're still like trying to create the team. I would say like 3-4 years, like this game will come out.
I mean, I would say that they've kind of opened the window, and I say this all the time. When they open the window, you can usually expect it within 2 years.
Yeah, I almost want to say this one's different because they're so, because they still have a lot of updates coming for Division 2, if that makes sense. Like they have a year, I think it's year 6 now, and like and that goes through next like May, or like even far. And it goes a lot farther into next year. I don't know the specific dates.
I mean,
And they have a big DLC coming out with it, and they have to still finish Division Heartland, the Resurgence. I just think there's too many other projects, and this is just so early on in development that it's not coming for a few years.
I mean, I hold true. I mean, I feel like they opened the window. It should be within 2 years, or that they might lose a little bit of interest. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. There is a lot of stuff, or maybe you're 100% right, and this game is super far out. It's just they're doing maybe an earlier reveal than they would have, just to try to re-spark some interest in Division 2
Hmm.
and get these upcoming projects a little bit
Yep.
more like legs underneath them.
Yep. And kind of going with that with Sea of Thieves, I re-up, or like I made sure my game was updated because I was gonna go back and play it here soon. So I will say, like another thing with Ubisoft is they do all these things, but like they announce all these things, they put all these things in production. A lot of times they get delayed a lot, and
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
like even with like X Defiant, that was supposed to be out in the middle of summer, and now they're saying mid October. But that was more so like a like they filed for the paperwork to put it on the market, and it's just like that just took extra time, so they're struggling with that. But I just think knowing Division, or not Division, Ubisoft in general, it's just going to be a lot of time and delays more than anything. Not so much, yeah, they may want it in a couple years, but it's a matter of whether or not it's going to get delayed a bunch. So
I mean, I opened this off by saying that, I'm a fan of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
They've put out a bunch of great titles that I've played throughout my entire gaming
Mhm.
career. But if I'm gonna be really, really honest, and I'm probably gonna catch some heat in this in the comments, if I'm gonna be super, super honest, they have really lived off of Assassin's Creed and Star Wars for way too long now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just Assassin's Creed and Star Wars is really what they've been focusing on, and everything else that they've done has kind of been thrown to the wayside. And I
Yeah.
think at this point, like, you're becoming a very much a one trick pony. Like, I'm just
Mhm.
assuming that another Assassin's Creed is going to be coming out, like every year an Assassin's Creed is coming out. Like every
Yeah.
year I'm going to get like some type of Star Wars thing, and like that's going to be it from Ubisoft. So I'm excited that they're putting more effort into other franchises, and I honestly feel like they should have been doing this way longer.
Right.
Like they should have started doing this so much longer ago.
I will say there was like concern of Ubisoft in general. I would say that concerns kind of decreased with some of the announcements that they've had versus because they were on the verge of bankruptcy not too
Yes.
long ago, and
Yeah,
so
that's
I
what I'm
think
saying. Like they should have
yeah.
done this so much
Yeah,
earlier.
and I
Yeah.
think a lot of this, like the Star Wars and the Avatar, I think that saved them. To be honest, like to at least save
Oh
them,
yeah.
and now they can be like, okay, we're gonna provide everybody with great content because the Crew Motorfest was good. I think it was really good. Like it was such a fun game. Like I'm enjoying the crap out of that, and just like in general, some of these titles that they're releasing, it's like Star Wars and Avatar saved them, and now they're like, we have to get back to what we know best and what we know we can do with the Division and Assassin's Creed. Because a lot of people are excited about Assassin's Creed Mirage because it's going back to their roots and what they know, and I think that's where Ubisoft is going, and it's a good sign for me.
Yeah, it's a good sign because I mean, I feel like some studios do this a lot where they're putting all their eggs in one basket. And I mean, it's a great strategy. I mean, focus on what works. Focus on your best sellers.
Hmm.
Pound the message on your core stuff. But like, especially with a title like Assassin's Creed, and again, I'm probably gonna get some heat for this in the comments. It's like how many is too many? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like how many Assassin because here's like the player base of Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed came out, nobody knew about
Yep.
it. It was a great game. Then we got 2, then we got 3, then we got 4. Like it's kind of hitting the height, and then like now it's like Assassin's Creed 9, 10. Like it's
Yeah, there's a
people are
lot.
losing. Yeah, like people are losing interest. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I don't know. You gotta double down. You gotta focus on on your bread and butter, but you also gotta give like a little spice. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
give a little taste of something else, and I'm glad that they're doing it.
Me too. And so kind of want to go into it a little bit. So people have been talking about where they'd like to see like the setting of the game. A big one is Chicago. Like people would love to see the Division 3 in Chicago.
Why
I
specifically
think
Chicago?
I don't know. I think it's probably because it's I don't know. It's just I don't know.
There's
People
like
love Chicago.
there's like some gaming community in Chicago that's like, let's start a petition to have the game done here.
Yeah, and I honestly hope not. I think it'd be cool. So like we had New York, we had DC, and the Division Heartlands in the Midwest somewhere. I think it'd be so cool to like put it overseas, like in London or somewhere like that, because like they're going through the same kind of pandemic, or the West Coast. West Coast would be cool.
I was gonna say there's in my mind there's only one place to do it, and that's California. They
Yeah,
gotta I feel like they gotta put it in a West
San
Coast setting.
Francisco or LA would be sweet.
Yeah, like an LA would be sweet. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I hope for one of those two, like California or Europe. I think that'd be cool. Or like even going like have it like no, I was gonna say like a cartel based thing in like Mexico, but the Ghost Recon kind of already does that with like Bolivia and stuff like that. So never mind, that wouldn't work. How
Yeah.
about Australia? Just throw it in Australia. I'm just
Mm.
kidding. I don't want it in Australia.
I feel like they're gonna
Antarctica. We're gonna throw Division 3 in Antarctica.
yeah, that would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah.
That would actually be kind of sick.
Yeah.
I do love me some like snow game. I feel like for a first person shooter though, like any type of competitive first person shooter too, like a snow environment would just be brutal. People would hate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, like I said, this is very, 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 very early on in the process of the Division 3, but I saw it. I was excited about it. There's not much else aside from that they said they're gonna make this game, but I'm super excited about this. So
I actually have a question for you, and I think it might be something that would pertain to some fellow Division players.
yeah.
What do you want to see in the new Division 3? Like, what changes do you want from Division 2 to 3, or like maybe some things that are not in Division 2 that you hope they add for Division 3? Some things that you're not a fan of, you hope they take away.
hmm
What is the perfect? What is Adam's perfect Division 3?
Okay, perfect Division 3. It's almost hard to say because there's just so much intricacies to the game. However, one thing I wish as a late like newcomer to the game, I wish that there would have been like a way to. So the way it works in Division, you have to level up, but the way you level up is you start at 0, and to get like all the full capabilities and of like your character and stuff, you have to get up to 1,000, like 1,000 in terms of
Like
level.
like a rank 1,000?
Yes. And then you keep going after that, but after 1,000, nothing really matters. It's just the number. And
Yeah.
so I thought it would be cool if there'd be a way to like after you buy this DLC. So there's a DLC that's called Warlords of New York. Yeah, it bumps you up to 30, but 30, it's like out of
Out
a
of a
thousand, it's
1,000?
crazy. I think they for a new player base, they should have a DLC that you have the option whether or not to start at 0 or like 500. I think that'd be a good addition. And like, yeah, it's like almost like a pay to win, but at the same time, you have the decision to go from 0 to 30, from a click of a button right now. So I just feel like 30 is just like a very minute number.
Give us some context. Like, what is your Division 2 number?
My Division 2 right now is 24, no, 240.
240. And how many hours do you think ballpark do you have in Division?
I can tell you actually. I'll pull it up right now. A lot is what I'm saying.
A
A
lot.
lot, a lot.
So you feel like it's kind of hard to level up.
Oh, it's not hard to level up. It's just more of a time thing. You have to have so much time to do this. Um,
I'm curious to know about how many hours you have in Division 2.
I have on the
Let
computer. I have. Of course, it's not going to tell me. Uh,
Because
achievements.
we'll ballpark you at like 250. So out of 1,000, you're 25% of the way there.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't show me on here. I just know it's a lot of hours. So
Over 100,
yeah. Oh, easily over 100.
easily over 100.
Um, man, why doesn't it say? It doesn't
We'll
say.
drop it down in the comments. Once Adam finds it, we'll drop it down in the
Yeah.
comments. But
So I
that,
had
like,
over 13 days on the Xbox,
oh my god,
and I think I want to say at least like 10 days on the PC.
that's almost a month, dude.
Yeah.
And you're 25% of the way.
So I mean, if you want to add the two, I'm at like 400 because
You're not
like
even
I played on the
halfway.
Xbox. Yeah, I'm not even halfway. Granted,
Yeah,
that's probably it could be like a skill thing, and I didn't know the right methods of leveling up fast. But I played the game to have fun, and yeah, I want to level up. But it's like it's a lot of hours, so that's one thing I'd like to see change. Obviously, you won't have to worry about it when the game first comes out, but for like new players trying to level up and like be competitive with everybody, it's like that sucks. But
yeah.
so that's one thing. Um, this is there's a big complaints of this, and like the division like servers just can't handle it. You only have a loot space of 150 items on your person, and then it's like only 500 in like the loot, like in the storage. And it's like 150. Like I get that almost in like 2 missions, and so like that's
Tell them,
so frustrating.
tell them what you did. Tell them what you did when I watched you play.
Oh, where I just started deleting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
Adam
started.
and so Adam was playing and somebody told him to just to clean out his inventory, so he just started selling things off. And what you sold off some like super rare
Yeah,
thing
I
that you
mean, it
couldn't
wasn't
get
super
back.
rare. Yeah, I sold off it was like the sniper, like the Christmas sniper. It was like it wasn't super rare, but I was like, "Oh man, I wanted that," and I was pretty disappointed. Like I was not looking, I was spamming like sell, 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 and
Yeah.
so like I wish you like that's a server thing. And like a loophole with it is like you can transfer items between characters, like you can have more than one characters, but that's just a hassle. Like just add more space.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'm trying to think of anything else. Honestly, the game plays very well, like the sound design, the cosmetics, like all of that's super fun to me. Um, I don't know. I Other than that, I don't think I have much of like what the division needs to be fixed.
You guys heard it first on Let's Talk Nerdy podcast. Division is perfect. Just
That's not true. That's not
if
true.
anybody from Ubisoft is watching, just don't make the leveling system so hard and give us some more space, bro. Like really?
Yeah, that's all we
Yeah,
need.
that's all
That's
we
all we
need.
need.
That's all we need. I'm glad you like the game, man. I'm glad
Yeah,
you're super excited for it.
even though
Um,
it's a few years.
it should be a little bit down the road,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're just getting any type of word on it is super cool because, like we talked about, fans were kind of just left in the dust, not really knowing what was going to happen. So as of right now, guys, it is official. Division 3 is officially in the works. No release date yet, but we do have some type of movement, which is more than we've had in years.
And this is a game out. I will do my best to keep everybody updated. So every time this, you guys are gonna get tired of the division. Like Adam, we've talked about the Division 3 50 times. I was like, I don't care. It's one of my favorite games. So
We're gonna be talking topics next week, and Adam's gonna be like, "There's new stuff on Division. We got
yeah,
to do it again."
there's a one screenshot just having the Division 3 logo, and that's it. So
They've released the new logo. We have to look at it and dissect
yeah,
it and
we
see
have to
if we
talk
can
about
find
you.
any clues.
Exactly, exactly. But
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the next game on the list I am super excited about. And we
Hmm,
are, of
hmm.
course, talking about Blade Runner 2033 Labyrinth. Adam, are you excited about this game at all?
I I don't know what it is, and I think you're gonna be able to explain it a little bit more than me. So I actually watched. We
We are.
watched. I watched a bit of the first one today, actually, before
Yeah.
I had to leave my house and whatever.
When you
And
talk about the first one, you're talking about the original.
1981, yeah, yeah,
Yep. Okay. Okay.
yep, yep. And
And your
so
thoughts?
I thought it was pretty interesting. Like I said, I didn't get to watch the full thing, but just like the idea of like what's going on, like with the replicants and like trying to figure out if they're human or not, and then
Yeah.
like some of the replicants are like actually like have memories and stuff now. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So like, and
Yeah.
especially for a 1981 film. I mean, when that came out, there was like nothing like it at the time. So like,
Hmm.
guys, if you don't know anything about Blade Runner, what we're kind of talking about is Blade Runner was a movie, originally came out in 1982, I believe.
Yeah,
And
one
it's
eighty
a
one, 82, something like that.
81, 82. It's a sci-fi movie directed by Ridley Scott, who of course did Aliens. It stars Harrison Ford, and the basic premise is it's set in this dystopian LA, which in the movie is the future, but it's
Yeah,
actually
2019.
2019. So
It's crazy. I had a comment on that. I was like, that's so funny how they depicted Los Angeles to be in 2019.
so do you love
Imagine if
that?
it did. Imagine if
Yeah.
that's what the world was. That'd be
Right.
crazy.
I remember being a kid and being like, "Oh my god!" and like you watching Back to the Future, and I was like, "Oh my god!" In 2018, we're gonna have hoverboards. It's gonna be so sick.
Yeah, and we
But
don't
no,
like we kind of have hoverboards, but it's like just a wheel. It's a
yeah,
giant wheel.
it's a hoverboard, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. So it's set in a dystopian LA, which in the movie is the future. It's 2019. And basically the plot of the movie is that this corporation has created synthetic humans. Essentially,
Mhm.
they're kind of like robots, but there's a little bit of other types of things, but we won't go into that. And basically, they're known as replicants, and the replicants, their whole job is they're in charge of space colonization. So they're colonizing places in space. And in the movie, there is a few replicants that end up kind of going rogue and like getting like almost like a Detroit human. Like
Yeah.
they're kind of moving off of their programmable things and starting to think for themselves, and they end up going rogue. So they leave the colonies, come back to Earth, And when they come back to Earth, they obviously start causing some trouble. And it's Harrison Ford's job, who is a detective at the time, to kind of hunt them down. So that's what the whole movie is about. Um, but I really, really, really love the movie, and there's a couple of reasons why. If you go back to that time period in 1981, I always kind of thought that Blade Runner was kind of the birth of like the cyberpunk kind of
Yeah.
genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you guys look at the setting of this, there's like that cyberpunk idea was never really an idea until Blade Runner kind of made it a thing, and it's this very dark, but like very dark, very moody, very like run down, but also like very neon and bright, and like that whole like Tron style
Yeah.
of like film, like it never existed until then. And I always thought that Blade Runner was kind of like the first ones to kind of introduce that. It's got an amazing score. It's got a cult following. People absolutely love it. And they did end up coming out with a sequel, a lot like the Dark or Dumb and Dumber. They came out with a sequel like 30 years later. It
Yeah.
stars Ryan Reynolds, but they did bring Harrison Ford back. And I really like that movie. I thought that was a great movie. So movie wise, it's actually really, really good. And the movie was so good that in 1997, they actually came out with a PC game of this movie. It's a point and click adventure game. It was so loved by people that it ended up getting like a 2020 remaster.
Did it really?
Yeah, it got a 2020 remaster, which is pretty cool for especially for like a 1997 point and click game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really, really, really enjoy the franchise. If you guys have not seen either the original Blade Runner or the sequel, which is Blade Runner
49.
2049, yeah,
Yep.
2049, go check those out. But anyway, we're here to talk about a game, and now I think we can roll the trailer now that people have like a good idea of what Blade Runner is.
Yeah.
Because this will be the first game we talked about. It got a 1997 game, which was a PC point and click adventure, but this will be the first Blade Runner game in like
25
25
years.
years
Yeah.
that actually comes out on like a next gen console. I'm
Yeah.
super excited for it. So if you guys are just listening on the Spotify, basically right now what we're looking at is this very very dark cyberpunk kind of look, right? And we're getting a look
Yeah.
at what I presume is going to be the main character. And the
Yep.
main character, he says something about losing his job, but now they need him back. And we can explain that in a second. And I like this shot right here. So this shot right here is very important. That shot right there is very important, where that chick is working with the dial. So we'll jump back to that in a second. Graphics wise, I think it looks amazing too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying with this like look though?
Definitely.
Like the dark like blue hue, dark contrast,
Yeah,
bright
that.
neons.
Yep.
That seems
The
very important too.
the blue yellow that a lot of films
Yeah.
use. Yeah.
Yeah, the blue yellow film grain. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys, if you guys were just listening on the Spotify, they closed that trailer out with a shot of I believe it's a coyote. And the coyote has these like glowing eyes. So I think that's very, very, very cool. So like we talked about, we get a shot at the main character, and in the
Mhm.
game, he says, he just lost his job, but they want him back. And I think that's important because it's going to set up what I believe is going to happen in this game. So
Mhm.
this game, it takes place in 2033, which is kind of a key spot in the Blade Runner timeline.
Yep.
There's a few key spots. One is the original, which is 2019. And then obviously the follow-up, which is in 2049. So this is directly in the middle.
Mhm.
And what this game should be following is in 2021, they also did this anime, a Blade Runner anime, and I
Yep.
believe this game is following the anime. And in the anime, what happens is that a massive blackout hits the city, and this city kind of wipes away a bunch of data from the replicants. It wipes out a bunch of data from the actual human citizens. It puts the humans in darkness for days, and this should be taking place directly after the events of that. And I think it's very, very, very important that the trailer itself kind of says, there's this quote in the trailer, right, that says, "What does a Blade Runner do when there's no replicants left to hunt?" and I think that's a red herring. Do you think it's a red herring?
I think it could be.
I think it could be a red herring. So basically what happens after the blackout is this prohibition period where it is now illegal to make any replicants, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's illegal to make the replicants. They're trying to do away with them, get them out of the community. And
Mhm.
what I'm thinking here is that a few of them have slipped through the cracks, and that is going to set up like the entire storyline, and I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be so cool.
Mhm. I agree. I didn't think it like that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, you're just gonna." Do you think it's gonna play kind of like Detroit? What's I can't
But
remember the name of it. Detroit
Detroit Become
Humans.
Human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like.
I do really think it's gonna play a lot like like a Detroit Become Human game, and this is gonna be I think that this is gonna be very much not a crazy action game. As like there
Mhm.
will be action, but I
Yeah.
think it's gonna play a lot like Detroit Become Human, where you're making choices, like you're scanning areas, looking for clues, very much more of like a detective based game than it would be just like a kind of Resident Evil shooter. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah. So I'm super excited for that because I really love this genre and I really
Mhm.
love games like that. I I I think it's gonna be like that. I don't want to like. I'm almost nervous throwing it out there, saying like it's not gonna be super intense on the combat, but I really, really, really do feel that it's gonna be much more of a story-driven single player experience. That's gonna be something that's not casual. It's going to be something that holds your attention, but not something super intense where you can really invest yourself in the story and just like really focus on having a good time with the gameplay instead of just like ridiculously crazy button mashing, and I love that type of stuff.
Yeah, and kind of looking at so I'm like on Steam right now looking at the description of the game and the genre that they put it in. They don't put it in action adventure. They just have it straight as adventure.
Yeah,
And some of their other titles is Stray, so that cat game where it's an adventure game, and there's
adventure
no
game, yep.
combat in that. And like I don't know a lot of these other ones, but they all look like they're just more of that story kind of pushing forward in the storyline, and things like that. And then although there is one I have like 12 minutes, I don't know if you've heard of that game.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, that's another one where it's not action, it's just trying to like detective work, and Outer Wilds is another one. So a lot of those kind of detective like story, trying to find clues and things like that. So I think that's definitely where this game's gonna go.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. I mean, Detroit Human, we talk about it all the time. Like maybe it's not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, I actually really like games like that. Like I was a huge fan of Heavy Rain. I put it on my sleepers list. Like I really love that type of genre where it's like you really are just kind of playing like a very great movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you're interacting with a really great movie, and I really love like being able to sink myself into the world and feel like I'm actually like I'm actually doing things in the quote unquote movie that are making a difference and affecting the
Right.
outcome. And I really enjoy that. And then put that in the Blade Runner setting, which is this cyberpunk. Like I'm all about that. Like the
Yeah,
neon,
yeah.
like look around, like with the neon
Yeah.
retro, like yeah, everything is. I'm just puking RPGs or RGBs everywhere. So like I love the cyberpunk feel, but I think it's gonna be a really cool game, and I don't know. I think it should be on people's radar because this game was announced a little while ago, and there hasn't again like most of the titles that we talked about today. There really isn't a definitive release date.
Mhm.
But I do feel like an actual release date is coming pretty soon. So maybe just
Yeah.
a game to get on your radar.
I would agree. And kind of going off of it a little bit. Wait, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, for if anybody wants to know, the production is being done by Annapurna Interactive,
Yep,
and
yep.
it's their first in-house production. So I think that's kind of cool and something to keep note of.
Yeah, and they did just work on Stray, like Adam said, and everybody knows that Stray was, it was a really cool game.
Yeah,
So I'm,
definitely very cool.
yeah, it's a cool idea, and I hope they bring that like that kind of thought process into this Blade Runner
Yep.
kind of world. And like we talked about, there are some important scenes in the trailer. So again, if you guys were just listening on the Spotify, we talked about how they ended the trailer with the look of that, what people believe is a coyote, and when it
Mhm.
turns its head towards you, the eyes glow. So, with these replicants, they didn't limit it to just humans. They made
Oh.
yeah, they made animal replicants too. And the idea behind it is that people believe that some of these animal replicants may have slipped through the cracks when they were getting rid of all the replicants. And how cool would it be if you had like this replicant coyote companion to like
Sniff
come with
out the other
y
ones? Yeah.
yeah, to, like, come with you, like, be your, like, partner in it, and, like, you could send the coyote, like, like, to attack or, like, to sniff out clues and
Yeah.
stuff, like, that would be so sick. I hope they do that, and I feel like it's definitely a possibility. They might have just thrown it in the trailer just to, like, have something cool in the trailer, but I feel like they held on it for a very long time. Like, I feel
Mhm.
like they held on the scene long enough that it should be, like, an actual part of the gameplay. So I think that's pretty cool. If you get a coyote companion, I'm down.
You're
Uh,
down. That's all you need for
I'm
Dave, a
that's
coyote companion
all
pet.
I need is a four-legged friend to accompany me on this journey, and it will be the greatest game ever made.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it should be sick. And we also did see in the trailer, we saw the memory orbs. So
Mhm.
there's a scene in the trailer. These memory orbs, basically what they are is they hold memories. So I'm thinking it might be also kind of an Assassin's Creed style thing where like you can jump back into memories and replay these moments in these orbs and like try to figure out clues from things that happened in the past, which I think will
Yeah.
be
And
really,
like
really
Cyberpunk. You can
yeah.
do that in
And like,
Cyberpunk
yeah,
too.
you can do that in Cyberpunk too. So like being able to jump back into the memories would be super cool and like trying to piece together things from the past and figure out how it works into like modern day stuff
Mhm.
could be very, very cool. So I'm excited for this game. Again, there's no release date just yet. We'll keep you updated on that, but definitely I think a game to put on the radar.
I agree. Definitely one that I'm gonna put on my radar too, with the
Yeah.
thousands of other games that I put
With
on
the
my radar.
thousands upon thousands of other games. But yeah,
Yeah.
guys, it should be really cool. If you haven't checked out the trailer, check out the trailer. If you haven't seen the first movie, the 1981 movie, check out the 1981 movie. It still holds up. It's a great movie, and the 2049 movie with Ryan Gosling is a great movie too. And yeah,
Is it
put this
Ryan
one.
Gosling or Reynolds?
No, Ryan Gosling.
Okay, you said Ryan Reynolds earlier, so I wasn't
I
sure.
apologize. It is not Ryan Reynolds. I'm sorry, Ryan Reynolds. You are not in that movie.
You're in a lot of other movies, but that is not one.
You're in a lot of other movies. It's not that one. But I'm
That's
sorry.
fine.
Yeah, the 2049. I'm sorry. But people are gonna comment on that. I know they're gonna comment on that. It is Ryan Gosling, not Ryan Reynolds. But
Gotcha.
great movies and just yeah, just it should be an amazing game. It looks visually just stunning, and I'm super excited for it. So put it on your radar. It should be good. And
Agreed.
if it sucks and I recommended it, I'm sorry.
It won't suck. It'll be good.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
But with that being said, this is a game that comes from a movie franchise. Adam, let's do a blind ranking. Do you know of what?
Movies that became video games.
Movies that became video games, of course. Let's
Yeah.
go. Okay. And I am going to give you the honors today. So go ahead.
Funny, I put this as a draft, but I think it's gonna work. I hope you played some of these. I doubt you played any of them, but we'll go from there.
We're going to go from there. I
Yeah.
will be honest and say if I had played it or not.
Yeah. All right. Your first option, the movie turned into video game is Shrek.
I have played it.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, I have. Oh boy. This is gonna be tough. I feel like this is gonna be tough because I'm doing your list now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put Shrek at a 3. I'm putting Shrek at a 3. I played it. I think it was a good game. It wasn't a great game, but it held true to the franchise and it was funny. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
Yeah.
it at a 3. Yeah,
Lots of
pretty good.
fun mini games and random things about it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't a ridiculous game, but I think it did good for the franchise. Putting it at a 3.
Um. Okay. There's no specific game with this one, but I mean, I guess I could tag a specific game, but just the franchise in general because there's been so much. Jurassic Park. If you really want me to narrow it down, it'd be like Jurassic
No.
Park Evolution or anything like that.
Oh God. No, I'm gonna use the 5 hole. I'm putting Jurassic Park at a 5.
Ah,
I am.
interesting.
I am. I love Jurassic Park, but I'm. You guys know I'm an old school gamer. I go all the way back to the Super Nintendo era. They just never they never put out a Jurassic Park game where I was just like, yes, this is Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? There's something wrong with
Yeah.
like every single one I played, so I'm putting it at a 5.
Okay, Jurassic Park at a 5. Your next option or next choice is The Incredible Hulk.
I hate to do it. I'm gonna put it at a 2. I actually didn't think it was a bad game.
I thought it was a great game.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a
Yeah.
bad game. I gets a bad. I don't know why does it get a bad rap.
I don't think it does. I think you're thinking it does. I've never heard negative things about the Hulk game.
No,
No, maybe because
I
I was a
thought
kid when I played it, but
I thought that game gets a bad rap. I'm putting it
huh,
at 2 though. I really like that game. I thought it was great.
I gotcha. Well, your
Yeah,
next one is SpongeBob the movie. Never played it?
never played it. I got put it at
Ah,
a 4. I never played it.
it was so good. It was so good. It was just like the movie and like different scenes in there and things like that. I love that one. Like
SpongeBob
the
fans, SpongeBob fans are gonna be throwing a mutiny right now. I'm sorry,
yeah.
guys. I never played it.
I talked a lot about the SpongeBob today. Okay. Your next option. Oh wait, your last option, right?
My last. This has to be
Oh.
number 1, so it has to be
Oh
a
yeah, your
banger.
number one is Cars.
Let's go. Actually,
That is I don't care what anybody says. That is one of the most fun racing games I've ever played.
I like Cars. I thought that was a great game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought was so good compared to I thought it did really well, like you said, to that staying true to what like Radiator Springs was because it's like open world
Yeah.
and things like that. It was fun.
Yeah. No, I'm totally fine with that. Cars number 1. Let's go.
Cool,
And
cool.
we did the entire blind ranking, and there's only one game on the list that I haven't played, so I'm super
Yeah, I
excited
was
about
shocked
that.
actually. Yeah,
Okay, your list is gonna suck.
yeah, because I have probably no idea.
Okay, ladies and
I'm gonna
gentlemen.
go based off movies for me if I haven't played it.
Okay, Adam's first pick. I mean, I'm not gonna dirt you too bad. First pick, Amazing Spider-Man for the PS3.
Ooh, like based off of the one with Andrew Garfield,
Yeah,
a 5. That
you.
one was so bad. It was so choppy. Are we talking the same one? Andrew Garfield one.
Yeah, Andrew
Oh
Garfield
yeah,
for
5.
PS3.
5. 5. It
You
was on
take
PS4
that.
as well.
You take that back
No, it was
right
5.
now.
No,
You
it
take
was so
that back
bad.
right
It was
now,
so
sir.
bad. Compared to what we have nowadays, it's a 5.
Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man.
No, he's a great Spider-Man, but the game was awful.
He
I
had
played it on PS4.
that makes me sad. All right, you used your 5 hole already. Now I'm just gonna
I
give you a
knew
bunch
it.
of garbage.
I don't care.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Adam's second pick. You know this has to be part of the list. A little GoldenEye
Oh,
007.
did you give me anything better? I feel like I have to put it at 1, so I'm going
Did
to.
did I dirt you today?
I don't care. We're going
You're
double.
you're putting it at 1?
Yeah, 1.
You're putting it at 1? Okay. All right. Your second choice, a little Saw on the PS3.
4. I've never played them.
Never played it?
Nah.
That's such a good game.
Is it?
It's really a good game. Yeah, it's
Okay.
really really a good game. You should play that one. Okay, next choice we are going with The Matrix on PS2.
I have to put it at 3. I never played.
Never played that either. Oh
No.
no. Oh no. Okay, Adam's second choice. I know you played this one because you play them all. Adam's second overall choice is Lego Indiana Jones. You've never played Lego Indiana
Dude.
Jones?
I mean, I have to put it at 2.
You've never played Lego Indiana Jones?
That's not a franchise I'm super into.
Oh no, dude.
I don't think I've actually seen Indiana Jones fully through either. Like any of them.
Any of them.
Any of them.
The podcast is canceled, guys, for next week. Adam will be just watching Raiders of the Lost Ark and
Actually, I have to
playing
travel
Lego.
for work this next weekend, so I could watch all the Indiana Jones. I could download the game, all of it. So
Not good, bro. Not good. You can't
Not
put
good.
it out there. You've never seen any of the Indiana Jones
I did.
movies.
I'm gonna get
Oh,
roasted.
No, you're gonna get roasted for sure. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I think you won the draft mostly because you played all the games and I hadn't played any of them.
That's okay. That's all right. I'm gonna take the win. I'm gonna take the free win. It's
Yeah.
gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our last topic. Adam, are you excited for this topic?
I didn't know much about this game. Granblue Fantasy Relink, is that the name of it? Did I say that
That
right?
is indeed.
I don't know much about the Granblue franchise in general, but
What was going through your head when I was like, we should do this game?
what was going through my head? I was like, that's honestly kind of not like Dave's games either. Like the
Yeah.
games that you like. And I was like, wait a minute. And then they're like, so I watched like about the video about the game. A lot of the games that they have are on the mobile device, like on the phone. And so I was
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, Dave wants to talk about this game? I'm a little confused. Like, otherwise, I could see why you want to talk about it. Visually, the game looks really cool.
Yeah, I think it looks really, really cool. So yeah, guys,
Yeah.
we're talking about Granblue Fantasy Relink. This game does actually have a release date. It will be out February 1st,
Mhm.
2024, of course. And yeah, like Adam said, this is from a developer. This first game came out in 2014 and it was mobile.
Yeah.
It came out for Android and iOS and PC, of course. And basically, what it was a turn-based RPG that featured like a class system and some summons and some pretty basic stuff. I mean, it was a pretty basic mobile game, right?
Right.
And it ended up growing a little bit of a following, and people really kind of enjoyed the characters and the lore and the story behind them. So that they actually did end up putting out a real title in 2020 that was Versus. They did Granblue Fantasy Versus, which the best way to describe Versus is like a 2.5D fighter, almost like a Street Fighter kind of
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yep.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So yeah, they went from a turn-based RPG to now a 2.5D fighter, and then now we are getting this release, which
Mhm.
looks to be like a full RPG,
Yeah,
which
it's an
is
action RPG.
yeah, which is really, really weird. So they kind of hit all genres. So they did the mobile, they did the fighter, now they're doing the RPG. And we talk about this all the time. I was excited to talk about this game because most games that come from mobile are trash. And I
Yeah.
think that might not be the case with this game.
And I would agree with you. And
Yeah.
kind of going off of it a little bit, like you said, there's a lot of lore behind Granblue.
Yep.
But with this one, it's a brand new story, so it's going to be good for newcomers. And I guess one of my things is like, where did they come from? Like you said, they came from like mobile and things like that. But it's like they're like, you know what? Screw it. Full action RPG. Let's give fans something that they might be really interested in and bringing new people in. But it's like
Yeah.
we've thrived on these mobile games. It's time to just go full go, put all our eggs in the basket, and just let's go for it. And I think that's really cool. And like we said, visually the game looks really good. And there've been players or people that have played like the demos and stuff or like the early access things, and it's all positive. Like
Yeah.
they're like nobody's saying anything negative about the game specifically. And
Yep.
to the point, like the mechanics are good, the interaction, the bosses are really good. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it should be really, really good. Let's throw up the trailer so we can take a peek at it because there's a bunch of stuff in there. But yeah, this is coming out by Psy Games. Of course, did all the mobile nonsense, and I think it's really cool that like, you know, a lot like you talked about this developer went from, you know, making mobile games, and I have to have like in my head, I have this feeling that like, you know, mobile games probably wasn't always the goal for them. You know what I mean? Like they probably always wanted to branch out and make like a full media release. And the fact that they got it is actually kind of cool.
All right, cool.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, keep in mind when you're watching the like I thought this might be a little bit shocking for me because you know I'm not the hugest anime guy.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to like very popular franchises like, you know, Final Fantasy and stuff like that, I just for whatever reason I'm just not super into like the anime thing.
Yeah.
But this I don't know, this is so different. So like right now we're taking
Yeah.
a look at like if you guys are just listening on the Spotify, we are just seeing like some of the craziest boss battles that I have seen in a game in so long. And like
Yeah.
the setting of this is so cool right now. So in this game, you are in charge of a you're basically like like a sky pirate, right? Then
Yeah.
you're captain of this sky pirate ship, which is cool. And you have four characters. All the characters will be playable. But yeah, and it's gonna be like
Oh
these.
my gosh.
Right,
Sorry.
dude? Like, it's gonna be like these four characters, and you're gonna be able to control them, and each of them is gonna have their own skill set and different weapons and all that stuff. But you're basically gonna be taking these four characters into like some of the craziest boss battles that I have seen come out in a game in so long.
Hmm.
Yeah, like
It's
that.
kind of a lot. Some people have compared it to a Monster Hunter, and I
Yes.
kind of get some of that vibe of it but just like on a more massive scale almost. Or not, sorry, Monster Hunter's huge, so I shouldn't say it like that, but just like the size of like the battles and having the extra four people is so cool.
Yeah, I think the scale of the battles, I know people have compared it a lot to Monster Hunter, but I'm almost comparing it to like a almost like a Shadow of the Colossus.
Hmm.
You're talking about some ridiculously huge battles. Like that giant guy with the spray and the firearm,
Yeah.
dude. Like that dude, that looks so sick. And I'm super excited for this game. I think it's gonna be a game that's gonna be right up my alley. And visually it looks really, really, really stunning. And I think it's going to be one of those games that some people are going to be kind of salty on right off the bat, just because we talked about it, them being primarily a mobile developer. But I think
Hmm.
it's a game that should really get a fair shake.
I definitely agree with that. And like you said, so kind of going with the saltiness, there is going to be some sort of multiplayer. However, it won't have crossplay at this time. Like it's not announced, or they said they're not going to do it at this time.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not announced, but they did announce that there's going to be co-op.
yeah,
So
there'll be co-op, but it just won't be crossplay.
yeah,
So we'll see how that goes because like that's kind of the world that we're in nowadays. If it doesn't have crossplay, some people don't want to play it because they want to play with their friends on different consoles and stuff. But I don't think that's going to be a huge factor in this game. But just kind of throwing it out there.
yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a huge factor just because typically this is, I mean, the co-op is available, but they're toting it as like a single player campaign
Yeah.
experience. So I
Yep.
mean, some people are going to be a little salty on it, but realistically, you kind of have these. What I think is going to happen is you're going to be able to select which character you want to be, like going into these battles, and you're basically going to have like these three NPC, people fighting along with you that you can kind of control, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you remember
Yeah.
Guardians,
Yeah. Yeah.
where
Yep.
you basically were Star Lord, but you controlled the other people in your team to like help with the fighting experience.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot like that. And
I think
just
so too.
looking at it, the combat system looks so fluid. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't look like something that's overwhelming, but it looks like something that's going to be visually like very appealing and like functionality like very fun.
Yeah. I agree with that. And kind of going off that, each character is going to have four different like skills, and
Yes.
each character will also have what is like their ultimate, which is called the skybound art.
Yep.
So and then what I saw, which is really cool, is like the order. So you can have all of your characters do a skybound art, and then like they combine to make one massive like ultimate. And I thought that was really cool and a really cool concept. And like depending on the order of it, like will depend on how it like interacts with the boss battle. And I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool. So
You basically just like our powers combined and you're making like the Megazord
I
of
was gonna
just
say like the
Sky Arts.
Megazord from yeah, that's so cool.
We're making like the Megazord of Sky Arts. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really really cool, and I think there's gonna be some concerns about this, but so far what we've heard is like the concerns that you would typically have from a developer that was typically a mobile or a free to play kind of putting out their own title. This will be a prepaid release, so this will be a actual, I believe, $70 game at launch, which I think is
Mhm.
actually good because in this situation, it allows for them to not work these pay to play phone mechanics into the game. like they would
Yeah.
normally have to in a free to play situation. So I think that it's good that they're actually putting out a release that's going to be an actual working title. We're not going to have to worry about pay to play nonsense.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be super super cool, I think.
Any game without the pay to win and the battle pass is a game for me because I get
Yeah.
so tired of some of these games like that do that so much nowadays. Like
Yeah.
that's why like I don't play Call of Duty so much anymore, and just games like that. I just like I can't go back to it.
It's really awful, and
Mhm.
I'm totally fine with just paying the costs up front and just getting the full title and just doing my thing.
Yep.
That's yeah, the pay to play's got to stop.
Yeah.
But like we said, they did tote that there's going to be some co-op. Well, unfortunately, like Adam said, it won't be crossplay. But you know, if you guys have the same consoles, you can play with your friends. They're toting a gigantic open world, so the exploration abilities is going to be endless. Especially like when you're in this kind of situation. We talked about you being a sky pirate. I mean, people might understand what that means, especially if you're just listening on the Spotify, but you're legitimately a sky pirate. Like you have this awesome pirate ship that's just flying throughout the sky. And I think
Yeah.
that's like so cool. And they did say that like a lot like you know, Zelda and stuff like that. The developers have came out and said like if you can see it, it's a real place. You can go there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I mean, they're touting like a gigantic open world. So it's not going to be like backdrop animations where it's like, oh, what's that tower in the background, and like you fly all the way there, and like you just hit like the invisible wall, and it's like, oh, you can't go there. Like
Yeah.
if you see it in the game, you can go there and check it out, which
That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
is
That's pretty
super
cool.
cool.
I
Yeah,
hope
so
a lot of games are starting to do that too, which is
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
So
I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, gigantic open world. I think like the boss battles look absolutely insane. If you guys haven't checked out the trailer, check out the trailer because I mean these boss battles look really really good. We're talking like Shadows of the Colossus size boss battles. It's
yeah,
absolutely insane. The
that's cool.
combat system looks really amazing. The graphics look really amazing. I'm super excited about this game, and it's weird that I would be excited about an anime game, but I
Yeah.
am.
You
Yeah.
are, and I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to look at it or get it as well. So
Yeah, should be
another
really,
one,
really cool. So
another
yeah,
one to the list.
another one to the list. Guys,
Another one.
this game
Sorry.
drops February 1st. February 1st, 2024. If you want to check it out, definitely check it out. It should be really, really cool, and I will definitely be getting this one.
For show.
For show, for show.
For show.
Good episode, bro.
Great episode.
Great episode. I'm excited.
Some good games coming out.
Some good games. Some good games. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for everything. Really, really appreciate it. We just want to put out there, um, y'all are crushing it on the YouTube, and if you haven't yet, if you're listening on the Spotify or you know wherever else, if you haven't yet, please check out the YouTube. We are cruising to like 550 subs, which is absolutely insane.
Yep, and couldn't be more excited about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So if you guys haven't, and you could possibly consider jump over to the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and help us get to the next milestone, which is 550. We'd super appreciate it.
Yep.
Yep.
And if you're not following us on all social media, please make sure to do so. Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast. And check out our website, let's talk nerdypodcast.com.
And one last thing.
Yeah.
At the time of this posting, we will have a community post up about the next upcoming live, which is going to be the Nerd Mania.
Nerd Mania.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Nerd Mania.
do you want to call it Nerd Mania or Nerdy Mania?
Nerdy Mania. That sounds
Nerdy,
good.
it's gonna be Nerdy Mania, which
Yeah.
will be a live wrestling event that we will be doing. So again, there will be a
A
community
free purview.
free per view on our live. So
Yeah.
at the time of this posting, there will be a community post that will have all the you know all the graphics and stuff like that. You'll be able to find it super easy. But if you do want to be a part of that live, you don't have to actually play where you're just going to make your character. But if you do want to be a part of that live, please jump over to that community post and leave us a little message. Just say you want to be part of the live. Tell us a little bit about yourself so that we can make the character. And yeah,
Yeah.
we will put you in the game. We will be doing a fan Royal Rumble, and I'm super excited for it.
This
So
should be super fun.
I started making all the characters. It's a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
give me a little information. Give us a little information of what you think the character you want your character to look like, and we will make it as best as we can.
Bada bing.
Bada boom. Okay, my dudes, thank you very much for everything. We love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, we did all the stuff. We love you guys very, very much. We will see you on the next one.
Peace out, nerds.